Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and this is an episode of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. We're 90 minutes away from, I don't know, the boat that we're on sinking, I guess is what's been suggested. Maybe that won't happen. And we've just got to door number 9. So we've got to find out what's inside number 9. And we're here. In front of them stood a door. In front of them stood a door. So, is this? Yeah. Junpei couldn't see Seven's face, but he could see him nod. There's no other place for us to go. Nope, just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates. I see. It looked as though Seven was right. The door in front of them was their only choice. All right, let's get moving. He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. It appeared they'd been telling the truth. No way. The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number 9. 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it. The 9th door. It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish. Garish. We're finally here. Junpei grabbed the handle and shook it. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant. No doubt about it, this is door 9. Finally, this is the last. Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence. Junpei, look behind you. He turned around. Behind? What? Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw. Why? A door. And a 9. There's another one. Hey, what the hell? What the hell's going on here? His words came slow, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room. 9. There was no mistaking the number. But if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door. There's a red there too. That means... And of course it won't open. He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real. But why? Why the hell are these 2 doors? It was Ace who spoke first. Is it so that everyone can go through? You think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one? Lotus was skeptical. I don't know about that. That seems unlikely. What makes you say so? Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go through on our best guess and leave it to instruction, the instinct, to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck? Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room? No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well and I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint though. Well then, that means... Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said that there was only one door with a 9 on it. It's hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. If we had all people... So, could 9... No, it has to be 3, right? I wonder whether if we had all the people, everybody could get out of a door. Junpei began to mutter to himself. So if there were 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right... That's not going to work. Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand. You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them? Yeah, here. Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her. Look at this! Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers. You get it? Right, so there's no way for us all to go through. The number on the door. The numbers on the door are all combinations with digital roots of 9. Numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There's only 8 possibilities if we split into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So, if 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind, right? Yeah. Clover nodded almost as if she were pleased with herself. But if we had Snake, we'd be able to go through. So we've got to find Snake. Clover nodded almost as if she was pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem. No way. Blip, 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 blip. The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank. What to think of it? Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him. What is this room? The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room. It looked like it was set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind? Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet... Is that an altar? It was a recessed space set into the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be. But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humour to his voice, but it was forced. Okay. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer, but... I guess nobody's got the guts to do it. What are you talking about? Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one. What, you guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong, she just... screw it, let me just write it out. Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look. If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everyone out. Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination. Oh, no. 7. Wait, this means... Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing. The same thing, are you saying? Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind. But why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot? Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to have to owe you for anything, for getting out of here. The rest of them began to speak all at once. I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either. I don't like that idea. There's got to be some other options. I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero. Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven. Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's got to be a better way than this. Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough. Doesn't make any sense. He was doing his best to pretend that they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke. Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet. Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable. Are you agreeing you want to leave him here? Santa shook his head. Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone. Then I don't see how it matters. I said, alone. Huh? I said I don't want to leave Seven alone. There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver. What the hell are you... What, you don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. 3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No. Those are my orders. What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's going to listen to you? You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice. What? 3, 2, 1. Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moved like lightning. He spun and... Ah! Oh no. He had June. See? I told you. His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile. What? A shudder travelled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head was about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude. Saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly against her temple. Why? What the hell is that? Where on earth did Santa possibly find a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion. The gun's from the other room. What room? One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was going to do this. I should have taken the gun. Heh, well, it's too late now, fat ass. Damn it. A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lips twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded and he began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly and then forced June to do the same. Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations. I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands on the red. 3618 is equal to 18. That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2 more. Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order. Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed, frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car. Right, fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it. No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched. Whoa, and the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real. And worked. He really shot it! But why? Santa, why are you? Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief. Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends. What? You knew about the leaf words and the 4-leaf clover. Santa's cheek twitched almost imperceptibly. What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea. You're lying. Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch. You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head? Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth. His face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. Then she spoke, her voice was very small. When she spoke, her voice was very small. Santa. He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus. Alright, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan these bracelets. I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing starting to go? Going senile, maybe? Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale beyond Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild, and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Ugh. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate. That's it. June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do. It's the only way. He turned to Ace and Lotus. Please, go. Huh? No way. Junpei, what are you saying? If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Junpei. And so will Clover and Seven. I know. We don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven? Right. You just leave it to us. It's going to piss me off to do what Santa says, but... Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of. No. No, you can't. Ace, Lotus, don't come over. Don't worry about me, please. June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders. Please. And pushed them towards the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step and another. They turned around and Junpei nodded. Go. Alright. Fine. Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly towards the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped, in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled. Alright, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the hold-up? What, you think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The red doesn't need a person, you know. All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not going to say it again. He shoved the revolver harder against June's head, and she winced. Fine. Ace sighed and defeated and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The fourth asterisk blinked on. Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. As soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid and you know what happens next. Damn it. Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, and a drum roll to welcome the chosen few. Good. Go. Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well. Later. Wow. What a betrayal. After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and 7 had been left behind. So that's 5, 8, and 7. So 8 and 7. Oh, hang on, no. 5, 4, and 7. So they need Snake. Clover looked down at her hand and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. 7 shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the two 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read engaged. He moved to the smaller door. The red read vacant. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. There was no possible way for them to open the door, with 9 on it. Junpei touched the surface of the door. June. He thought about June, about Akane Kurashiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she'd escaped this horrible boat. That was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed. So, what do you want to do, Junpei? What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do? 7 opened his mouth to respond when... Uh-oh. A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something, vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked around at one another. Well, what the hell is that? Shh! Quiet! Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. Coming from the coffin. The 3 of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from. Where is it coming from? Could it be? Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin. You're right. Let's open it. Well, how? What are those muscles for? For show? You're telling me to force it open? Just shut up and try. Junpei and Seven grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find, and pulled with all their strength. Ah! Gah! Damn it. Man, it won't even budge. There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it. Not another one. Yeah, looks like it. You think we have to put in the right password or it won't open? I think so. I mean, what else would it be? The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder. Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out, and now. I know that. But how? Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do. They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be. Isn't there a hint somewhere? Well, let's look for one. Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examine the pews, and Seven investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing. There's nothing here. Not making this easy, are they? The sound still wouldn't stop. There wasn't a noise that belonged in that room. What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? How can we figure this out? I need something. To be continued. To be continued? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa. What? What just happened? Now it is time. Let our game begin. You've reached one ending. This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to play through the game multiple times. Make sure to save your progress now to retain all information you've acquired. Memory of Escape has been added to the title screen. Memory of Escape enables you to replay the escaped rooms you've completed. Wow. Would you like to save the info you obtained during this playthrough? After saving, the game will restart from the beginning. Please select a save slot. Whoa. Access the flowchart or return to the title screen to start from the beginning. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we could... So there's a bunch of things that we need to learn here. Oh, there's quite a lot of... Okay. There's quite a lot of endings. In fact, I say that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 endings. Will this achieve anything? Will this achieve anything? Interesting. It looks like this will lead into this. I mean, I guess we're going to have to go here. Click on this. 4 and 5 doors. Wow, okay. Well, I guess that's another episode of Borderline Games. We're going to go back in time. And we're going to have to work out exactly we went wrong and find the true ending of 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening. Bye bye.